of the Board of Trustees, I stand before you today with a pressing sense of urgency, compelled by the historical imperative and your crucial role in addressing the ongoing Palestinian humanitarian crisis. As we convene here, we cannot overlook the echoes of your past inaction, where voices advocating for change were often silenced and dissent was met with resistance. We have been harassed, we have been targeted, we have been physically attacked for our advocacy, and you have done nothing to stop this. In your meeting today, it is shameful and pitiful that you have discussed the budget of this university without discussing the blood of innocent people that is on your hands. You have forgotten that you have a $236,000 US Treasury bond giving aid to the State of Israel and about $600 million in private portfolios in the firms of Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, BlackRock, and other notorious weapons manufacturers. It is imperative to recognize that your silence and inaction hold dire consequences, evidenced by the prolonged suffering of the Palestinian people and communities represented within our institution. Today, I, as well as others here, are standing against this injustice. You have the ability to change history, just as MSU has done before in the case of South Africa, but you choose not to. You choose to cower, and you choose to hide behind your jobs as our elected officials. We are demanding that you side in favor of truth, justice, humanity, and solidarity with oppressed communities, and not to stand against divestment, thereby perpetuating the continuation of the status quo and ignoring calls for accountability. Let us be clear. The Palestinian people exist. Our voices matter, and they deserve to be heard. We will not succumb to the attempts to silence us or distort the truth, and you must reject the false dichotomy that there are two sides in these investments. There is no equivalence between the oppressor and the oppressed. Palestinians are not engaged in a conflict. They are enduring a systematic oppression characterized by Israeli aggression and human rights violations, which you have millions of dollars invested in. We cannot afford to turn a blind eye to these injustices any longer, and it is our collective responsibility to stand in solidarity with the oppressed and demand accountability for those who perpetuate violence and suffering. The history of inaction by this board raises serious concerns about our commitment to ethical investment practices. This board must honor its commitment to the students of the school and divest from companies profiting from the Israeli occupation and weapons manufacturers complicit in human rights abuses. A failure to do so would betray the trust of this community and reserve and perpetuate complicity in injustice. You may think that you have the power. You may think that our voices are insignificant, that we're just a bunch of college kids, but you're wrong. You're on the wrong side of history, and we will not rest until we progress our university forward. Now I'll leave you all with the enduring words of the great hero, Nelson Mandela. We know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians. Do your jobs. Do your jobs.